Rush Pages.
Learn English through podcast.
James, has anyone ever asked you to do something, maybe cover a shift, join a committee, help with a project, and everything inside you was screaming no? But you smiled and said,
Of course, totally happy to help.
With full enthusiasm.
The enthusiasm of someone who is internally panicking.
and then you spend the next week doing the thing you didn't want to do, exhausted, slightly resentful, wondering why you can never just say no.
And the answer is, nobody taught us how. Especially in American culture where being helpful, agreeable, and a team player is everything.
At work, at school, with family, with friends, the pressure to say yes is everywhere. And the cost of always saying yes, that's what today is about.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to the Rush Pages podcast and your cozy place to learn real English through real everyday conversations. I'm James.
And I'm Emma. And today's episode is for everyone who says yes when they mean no, at work, with friends, with family, and pays for it with their team, energy, and peace of mind.
We're giving you the real English phrases and the mindset shift to say no. Kindly, clearly, and confidently.
Because saying no is a skill. And like every skill, it can be learned.
Let's learn it together.
James, let's start with a big question. Why is saying no so difficult? Because logically, it's one word, 2 letters. It should be simple.
Logically, yes. Emotionally, completely different story. Because saying no is not just a word. It carries a whole weight of social meaning.
Social meaning. The emotional and relational significance of something beyond its literal words. Saying no isn't just declining a request. It feels like rejecting a person.
Exactly. And for most people, especially people who care about others, who want to be helpful, who value their relationships, that feeling of rejection is unbearable.
Unbearable, too difficult, or painful to tolerate. And the fear of making someone feel rejected, even slightly, is enough to override everything else.
Override, to take priority over something else, to cancel out. The fear of causing discomfort overrides your own needs, your own time, your own energy.
And a lot of this goes back to how we were raised. Most people were taught, be helpful, be kind, don't be selfish, put others first.
Which are all genuinely good values. The problem is they were rarely balanced with, and also your needs matter. Your time matters. Your limits are valid.
Valid, genuine, real, having worth and legitimacy. Your limits are valid. That's such an important sentence.
Because a lot of people deep down believe their needs are slightly less important than other people's. That saying yes to someone else is more virtuous than saying no for yourself.
Virtuous, morally good, showing high moral values. And helping others is virtuous. But there is a difference between choosing to help from a place of abundance, having enough energy and time to give, and helping from a place of depletion.
Depletion. The state of having used up most of your resources, running low, almost empty.
Helping from depletion doesn't really help anyone. You give less, you resent it more, and eventually, you burn out completely.
Burn out, to become completely exhausted from prolonged stress or overwork, to the point where you can no longer function well. Burnout is what happens when you say yes too many times to too many things for too long.
And the people who suffer most from burnout are often the most giving, the most helpful, the most conscientious people.
Conscientious. Taking your responsibilities seriously, caring deeply about doing the right thing, The very people who most need to learn to say no are the ones who find it hardest.
Because they care. And caring is beautiful. But caring without limits is unsustainable.
Unsustainable. Impossible to maintain for a long time without breaking down. Like running at full speed with no rest. Eventually, the body stops.
Let's talk about the real cost of never saying no. Because I think people underestimate how much it actually affects their lives.
The first cost, resentment. When you say yes to something you don't want to do and you do it anyway, the resentment builds. Quietly, slowly. You might not even notice it at first.
Resentment, a feeling of bitterness or anger towards someone because you feel you've been treated unfairly. And here's the painful irony. The resentment is often directed at the person who asked, even though they didn't know you wanted to say no.
Because they just asked, they didn't force you. But because you couldn't say no, you said yes. And now part of you blames them for something they didn't even do.
Which damages the relationship. The relationship you were trying to protect by saying yes in the first place.
The exact opposite of what you intended.
The exact opposite. The second cost. You stop showing up fully. When you're doing something you didn't want to do, your heart isn't in it. You do it, but not well, not with genuine energy.
And the people receiving your reluctant help, they feel that. Maybe they can't name it, but they sense it.
Reluctant, unwilling, doing something without genuine desire. And reluctant help is so much less valuable than a clear, honest need, followed by something you genuinely chose to give.
The third cost, you lose yourself. Gradually, over time. When you consistently put other people's needs first, Yachi, and ignore your own, you lose track of who you are, what you want, what matters to you.
And that loss is quiet. It doesn't happen dramatically. Just one small yes at a time, you drift further from yourself.
Drift. To move slowly without direction, often without noticing. Like a boat without an anchor. You drift away from your own life.
Which sounds serious, because it is.
It really is. And the solution is not to become selfish or cold. The solution is to learn, kindly, calmly, clearly, to say no when no is the honest answer.
Okay, James, this is the practical part. Let's give our listeners the actual English phrases they need. Because a lot of people want to say no. They just don't know how to say it without sounding rude.
And that's such a real fear. Because in English, the tone and the phrasing make an enormous difference. The same message can sound cold or warm depending entirely on how you say it.
So, let's go through the main situations. First, saying no to a request for your time or help.
The most important principle here, you don't need to give a long explanation. A short, warm, honest answer is always better than a long, complicated excuse.
Excuse. A reason given to justify something, often not the real reason. And long excuses actually sound less convincing than short, honest ones.
So instead of, I'm so sorry, I would love to help, but I have this thing, and also my schedule is really full, and I've been meaning to reorganize my calendar, and it's been such a hectic week.
Exhausting just to listen to.
Exhausting and unconvincing. Instead, something like, I'd love to help, but I'm not able to right now. Simple, warm, clear. Notice, all of these are kind. They don't attack the other person. They don't over-explain. They just decline, clearly and warmly.
Decline. To politely refuse something. And declining doesn't have to be cold. You can decline with genuine warmth.
The second situation, saying no to something social, an invitation you don't want to accept.
This one feels very personal because social invitations are personal. Someone is offering their company and their time. Saying no can feel like saying, I don't want to be with you.
But it doesn't have to mean that, and the language reflects that.
Thank you so much for the invite. I can't make it this time, but let's plan something soon. I'd love to, but I already have plans. Can we do it another time?
I'm going to sit this one out, but have a wonderful time. Sit this one out to choose not to participate in this particular event while staying friendly and warm was an
A great phrase. It's light, it's casual, it doesn't create drama. You're not rejecting the person, you're just not joining this specific event.
third situation, saying no at work. This one is often the hardest because there's a power dynamic involved.
Power dynamic, the difference in authority or status between two people. Saying no to a colleague is one thing. Saying no to a manager is another.
And at work, the key is to frame your no around your capacity and priorities, not your personal preference.
Capacity, the amount you are able to do, given your time and energy. So instead of, I don't want to do that, which sounds personal, you say,
I want to make sure I can give this the attention it deserves. I'm currently at full capacity. Could we discuss priorities? I have X and Y on my plate right now. Which would you like me to prioritize?
prioritize to decide the order of importance of tasks, giving the most important ones your first attention. And that second phrase is brilliant because you're not saying no outright. You're asking for help with prioritization, which puts the decision back with the manager.
Diplomatically. Diplomatically. In a way that is tactful, careful, and considerate of everyone's positions. Diplomatic no's at work protect the relationship while still protecting your time.
And the fourth situation, saying no to family, often the hardest of all.
Because family guilt is real. Family obligation is real. And disappointing the people you love feels terrible.
But the same principle applies. Kind, clear, honest. I love you and I want to help. I'm just not able to right now. That's not something I can do, but here's what I can do instead.
Offering an alternative when you say no, that's a beautiful technique. You're not just closing a door, you're pointing to another one.
Alternative, a different option that could work instead. I can't come on Saturday, but I can come Sunday. I can't take on the whole project, but I can help with one part.
It shows goodwill. You still care. You just have limits, and limits are allowed.
James, let's talk about the inner work, because you can have all the right phrases. But if your mindset hasn't shifted, the guilt will still be there, eating away at you.
Eating away, slowly causing damage or discomfort from the inside. Like rust on metal. The guilt eats away at you quietly, even when you've done nothing wrong.
And the mindset shift starts with one simple belief. Saying no to one thing is saying yes to something else.
Every time you say no to something that drains you, you're saying yes to your rest, your focus, your relationships that matter most, your own well-being.
No is not an ending. It's a redirection. Redirection, moving something in a different direction. Your time and energy don't disappear when you say no. They go somewhere better.
And the second mindset shift, other people are more resilient than you think. You worry that your no will devastate them, disappoint them completely.
Resilient, able to recover quickly from difficulty. And most people, when they receive a kind, honest no, are fine. They find another way. They ask someone else. They adjust.
They don't fall apart. They adapt.
Adapt to adjust to new circumstances. And your no gives them the chance to adapt rather than receiving reluctant, half-hearted help from you.
Half-hearted, done without enthusiasm or full commitment. And half-hearted help often does more harm than good.
A full no is more respectful than a half-hearted yes.
Say that again.
A full no is more respectful than a half-hearted yes.
That's going on a mug.
A very important mug.
Let's go. First, unbearable.
Unbearable means too difficult or painful to tolerate. For example, for people pleasers, the thought of disappointing someone feels unbearable. Repeat, unbearable.
Unbearable. Next, to override.
To override means to take priority over something, to cancel it out. For example, fear of rejection often overrides our own needs. Repeat, to override.
To override. Next, valid.
Valid means genuine, real, and having worth or legitimacy. For example, your limits are valid. You don't need to justify them. Repeat, valid.
Valid. Next, depletion.
Depletion is the state of having used up most of your resources. Running low, for example, helping others from a place of depletion helps no one. Repeat, depletion.
Depletion. Next is to burn out.
To burn out means to become completely exhausted from prolonged stress or overwork. For example, people who never say no are at serious risk of burning out. Repeat, to burn out.
To burn out. Next, resentment.
Resentment is a feeling of bitterness because you feel treated unfairly. For example, saying yes when you mean no builds quiet resentment over time. Repeat, resentment.
Resentment. Next, to decline.
To decline means to politely refuse something. For example, you can decline an invitation warmly without damaging the relationship. Repeat, to decline.
To decline. Next up, capacity.
Capacity is the amount you are able to do given your time and energy. For example, I'm at full capacity right now is a professional and honest way to say no at work. Repeat, capacity.
Capacity. Next, diplomatically.
Diplomatically means in a tactful, careful way that considers everyone's feelings. For example, saying no diplomatically protects both your time and your relationships. Repeat, diplomatically.
Diplomatically. Next, resilient.
Resilient means able to recover quickly from difficulty. For example, most people are more resilient than we think. They handle a kind no better than we expect. Repeat, resilient.
Resilient. And finally, got half-hearted.
Half-hearted means done without full enthusiasm or commitment. For example, a full no is always more respectful than a half-hearted yes. Repeat, half-hearted.
Half-hearted. 11 words, every one of them. Useful in real life. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Emma, I feel like I need to go and cancel about 17 things.
Kindly, diplomatically, with warmth.
With full warmth and zero guilt.
Zero guilt. And I want to say something to everyone listening. If saying no feels impossible right now, that's okay. It's a skill. And skills take practice. You don't have to do it perfectly tomorrow. Just try it once, one small, kind no, and see what happens.
Usually nothing terrible. Usually my relief.
Usually just relief. If today's episode helped you, please like the video, subscribe to Rush Pages, and leave us a comment. We read every single one.
And today's comment question: what is one thing you wish you had said no to? You don't have to share details, just one thing. Let it out in the comments.
Sometimes just naming it is the first step.
It really is.
This is Emma,
And this is James.
and you have been listening to the Rush Pages podcast. Give yourself permission to say no today. See you in the next one.